Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. Boyce Watkins is full of crap. He recently did a video basically saying, well, I didn't tell people not to vote. And he did this video in response to criticism that he has received. All of a sudden, this man is concerned about Donald Trump. All of a sudden, this man is talking about disturbing facts or disturbing truths about Donald Trump. After spending damn near a year essentially discouraging people from voting. Now this man says, well, I didn't tell anybody not to vote. And yeah, he didn't literally say do not vote, but that's not the question. That's not the issue. It goes beyond literally telling somebody not to vote. This man spent damn near a year posting video after video downplaying the significance of voting. This man spent damn near a year posting video after video suggesting that voting and elections do not matter. This man spent damn near a year posting videos suggesting that all the candidates and all the parties are essentially the same. This man spent a damn near year explaining why he's not going to vote in the 2016 election. This man wrote articles basically saying that not voting can be used as a political strategy, not as an individual, but as a community, as a strategy that the black community could use, echoing the same language as that fraud Tariq Nasheed in his Don't Vote campaign. So when you take all that into account, it's obvious that this man was implying that black people should not vote. You don't have to literally say something to convey a message. This man knows damn well that his subscribers tend to follow his example and they follow his lead. He has a lot of gullible supporters that will buy his ideas and follow what he tells them to do. And for this man to all of a sudden express some kind of concern about Donald Trump is ridiculous to me. When this man had a chance, all the whole year, he had a chance to talk about Donald Trump. He had a chance to endorse candidates, but this man refused to do so. This man actually questioned people who called Donald Trump a racist. He asked them to produce proof that Donald Trump was a racist. And the mere fact that this man, Boyce Watkins, would ask that question tells you that this man hasn't done his homework. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's in over his head when it comes to politics. And he should leave that area, that arena, to people that are more qualified to talk about that. People like Yvette Carnell and Benjamin Dixon. Those are the people he should rely on for political commentary because he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. He clearly hasn't done his homework. Here you have a man, Donald Trump, who receives the endorsement of the KKK, a man who endorses and supports racial profiling, a man who supports New York-style stop and frisk, a man who has been sued twice by the Justice Department for housing discrimination, a man who took out a full-page ad calling for the reinstatement of the death penalty to be used against the Central Park rape suspects who were all African American. Those suspects were later found to be completely innocent. They were exonerated by DNA evidence, and to this day, Donald Trump still stands behind his position. And this man, Boyce Watkins, had the nerve to ask whether or not Donald Trump is racist. And now all of a sudden, after the fact, after this disastrous election where the KKK's candidate has won, all of a sudden now he's concerned about Donald Trump's disturbing history and facts and truths and all that kind of stuff. You were asleep on a job. And that kind of leadership is failed leadership. That's a misleadership type of example. That's what it is. And I can't take you seriously when it comes to politics. Now, when you're talking about economics, fine. I can respect you. I respect your credentials and your experience. But when it comes to politics, you're not qualified to talk in that arena. Because you could have made a difference in this election. And I was looking at your latest video and you talked about how Bernie Sanders was a better option. After this election, you're talking about Bernie Sanders is a better option. But during the campaign, you criticized Bernie Sanders. During the campaign, you basically said you didn't support Bernie Sanders because he did not support one issue, and that issue is the issue of reparations. Because of that one issue, you decided you could not support Bernie Sanders, despite his progressive history, legacy, and positions on issues that are of importance to the black community. Despite that, you couldn't support him. Instead, you dismissed him for not supporting reparations. But then you had a candidate in Jill Stein of the Green Party who supported reparations, who supports reparations. Do you embrace her? Do you endorse her? Do you feature her on your channel? Do you interview her? Of course not. Of course not, because you were interested in selling this idea that the electoral process doesn't matter, that our votes don't matter, and that somehow we can leverage our power by not voting, which is absurd and ridiculous. So when I hear people like you criticize Donald Trump now, after the fact, when it's too late to really do anything about this election, I can't take you seriously. What it looks like to me is opportunism. What it looks like to me is somebody trying to exploit an opportunity to make money and to garner more attention. That's what it looks like. Because right now, it's too late. That man has already been elected. And you could have used those 100,000 plus subscribers to affect some kind of change in this election. But instead, you sold the people self-defeat. You sold the people surrender. You sold the people false ideas and hopelessness. So I can't respect your position right now. And I can't respect you because you're not upfront. You want to weasel your way out of your position. You want to weasel your way out of the fact that you essentially discourage black people from voting. You want to weasel your way out of it now that this racist, this sexist, this inexperienced buffoon has been elected president. You want to weasel your way out of it. I would have more respect for a man that stood by his position and said, yeah, I encourage people not to vote. Yeah, I don't support these two political parties in the political system. I could have more respect for that than I can for a man who wants to weasel his way out of it and pretend like he didn't say what he actually said. Like he didn't imply what he actually implied. I can't respect that. And that makes me look at you differently now. It just makes me question everything about your whole agenda.